So, you know, Cydne, we've been friends for how many years now? Since I turned 10 years. Oh my God. And in that period of time, you know, I've grown in my advocacy because Lord knows I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And
most of us don't.
And we didn't, you know, we don't. And what was so funny was, and I want you to share, you invited me to come speak at the convention center in DC, wasn't it?
Speaking, yeah, what were we doing?
I think it was some kind of transgender panel.
It was a panel, right. It was for DC, for DC Black Pride.
Yes, it was. And you invited me to come and speak on the panel, and there was a gentleman that was there who said he was bisexual or something, and he stood up and he said to the room, he said, you know, I get so upset because I'm actually attracted to transgender women, but the only thing they want to do is walk the beat. How did he say it so I don't sound too crazy? He said walk the beat and date straight men or something, straight trade or something to that, because he was using some slang vernacular, right. But that was the gist of it. And so I didn't know at the time what the beat was. I had no idea what it was. And so we had a mutual friend that was sitting next to me and kept saying, that's what a girls walk. And I said,
walk what?
Walk what? Well, what's the problem with them walking? And then he said, that's where they walk to the beat or walk the stroll or something. And I did not know what he was talking about. So another lady on this side says, that's what a girls trade.
It sounds sex.
And they're sex workers.
You had to see it before your face. It was priceless. What? This is going to go really badly.
Well, I raised my hand and I said that I was appalled. Remember?
I remember.
I said I was appalled that someone would insinuate.
And I was moderating because I remember walking away from the panel.
That's
like,
right.
Oh God, this is over. Y'all just ended it.
Yeah, you know, it was hilarious, but it was a learning experience because I didn't know the high percentage of trans women, especially of color, that were actually doing sex work. I just didn't know. And it wasn't me being funny. I had never been around other women like myself. And knowing Cydne lived in Baltimore, I live in Norfolk, Virginia. So it's like a 6-hour distance. So I still didn't know. So when she asked me to come do it, I was so happy. At the time, I'd moved to DC for a little bit. And it was hilarious.
It's one of those things where, unfortunately, most of us have our first knowing of transgender women through sex work. And I think it's fair to say also that the women who are involved in sex work are the visible ones. Because there are a whole lot of us who are acclimated, obviously.
That's
we're,
right.
You know, quite well assimilated to society, and we have our jobs and our lives and our families. But it's one of those things you see often that people don't really think about, and until you're actually forced to answer a question about it, and start thinking about, oh yeah, sex work, oh yeah, there are a lot of girls who do sex work. But it was very funny, I think only in the aspect that it was new for you.
Yeah.
Certainly it's not funny in the aspect of how it happens.
No. And the thing is, that anyone who knows both of us, we don't judge anyone. And I just didn't
make a joke about anything.
Right, we just didn't, I just didn't know. And so the other story I want to tell was, after that, Cydne pulled me to the side, and this was life-changing and altering for me, and I'm trying not to get emotional now, but she said, Tona, there's something that I need you to see. And I remember she took me to DC and in Baltimore, and I went to go see the stroll.
Right.
And I broke down crying. I was devastated. First of all, because I'd seen the most beautiful women I'd ever seen. Gorgeous women. I'm talking to them. They're just as intelligent as anyone else. They seem to be like model-esque, and you know, and it was so great to see so many women like me, and you know, and we were there with a couple of our mutual friends. And then it clicked to me after being there what was happening.
All the transaction of the cars.
The cars, and I broke down, and it was another one of our cisgender girlfriends who was there who held me, but it was life-changing in the fact that now I understand some of the stigma, and I understand why people or a person at that event would say what he said.
Right.
But that was something I need to go through, because here I am advocating,
Right.
and I don't even know this part.
And many people are so far removed from it. I think that's one of the biggest things. It happens on all spectrums, in my opinion, in all spectrums of things where people find themselves involved in community issues, where we want to advocate for, say if I was living here in Baltimore, I want to advocate for poor, hungry children who live in Baltimore, and I go to the Capitol and I speak about it, but I've never really been in the neighborhood to see a child, what a poor, hungry child looks like.
That's
it
right.
Doesn't look the same as it would, say, in Eastern Africa or
That's
somewhere
right.
like that, or some other developing country. It would be a different conversation, but unless you see it, then you're better able to advocate for it. So I think that was really important for me to see. It was important, certainly for me to see. The first time I ever saw other women like myself was on the stroll, large groups of them. There were people who lived in my neighborhood. As a matter of fact, my mother had a friend who she played Uno with. On Thursday night, her and one of her other girlfriends, cisgender girlfriend, she had a transgender girlfriend. And I must have been about 5, I think. And they played Uno, and they sat around, they drank beer and had girl talk, and I was always at my mother's knees, so I got a chance to see this. And, see her interaction with her friend, and she was very friendly towards her. She identified as a woman, she accepted her, she's part of the group. So it's something that we all have to have experience with at some time and really give ourselves a chance to look at it through different lenses.
Right. I mean, we've gone through so much, and you always have to just be like, oh my goodness. What I found that you've started to do is say, okay, I assume that you knew something.
So let's go back.
Let's go back, and it's worked for us. It really has, and I appreciate it, because how would I know? But we've had some experiences, and oh my goodness, our girl chats about men, trans attractive men, DL men.
There'll be a book, and there'll be a collection series. Just that alone.
Just navigating the world, having dating experiences like any other woman, but our unique experience with it, and seeing how some of these men who actually love trans women, how they're affected by it. And now the thing that was so funny was that before I met Cydne, I was not the most, how do I say, I wasn't that kind to men who couldn't get it. Cydne was like, Tona.
Either you got it or you got castrated.
Right.
Pretty much.
I just did not have that kind of, I was always one of those people like, this is what it is.
But I think that we all go through that in your defense. I think we all go through it. It's like a defense thing we all go through. Like it's new for us, and we're defending it so jealously that anybody who can't get with it either get with it or get gone. I certainly have my stages like that, but it mellows out over time.
It does.
It definitely mellows out. It hasn't gone too far away. You still castrate them every now and then.
I do.
That's your country girl heritage.
Right.
Castrate the bulls and put them out to pasture.
Exactly. But like I said, we have grown into the women that we are, and just learn to appreciate each other. And the other part is, as sisters and as friends, you're not going to agree on everything. No two, which I need to put out there, which sounds so silly, but no two trans women think alike and do everything the same and want the same surgeries. We don't all know each other. All of that stuff. We don't all wear long flowing dresses. And heels. We're different. We're people. And I think that is the reason why I wanted to start this conversation series to begin with, so people could have more of an inside look, not only to myself when I'm not performing, but to my friends and to different professionals, and knowing what is it like to be a transgender person who is professional, who's an artist, who is a scholar, who is even a minister or a lawyer. I mean, we have all of those friends. And those people that are around us, but how many people see that on the camera? And that's why I wanted to have you on my show.
You're very lucky think of those concepts.
We really are. Well, you know, you told me years ago, you said, you know, Tona, if you are fortunate enough to have another friend or even know someone that's transgender in your life, you're very, very fortunate. And we don't tend to have a support system.
Not like we should.
Like we should. And, you know, and I thought about that and I said, she's right. She's absolutely right.
But we're getting there.
We are getting there.
We're definitely in there pretty quickly.
And you know, step by step, things like this make a huge difference. And like I said, I'm very honored to have you. Thank you very much for being on the show. You know, you'll be getting your little gift package from Empress Ink. Which will have all kinds of natural oils and soaps and lip gloss and stuff like that. I want to make sure that you're a diva. So thank you so much, and we will definitely be back. I would like to bring Cydne. Please comment about this in the comment section. If you would like to see Cydne and I come back and start shooting, like we're saying, the Transsexual Minute, or you know, just something we're talking about our opinions about life and about, you know, the world and how we live in it. Thank you very much, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Bye!